In my last Nuggets video, we unpacked Denver's headlining offseason grabs, Cam Johnston's spacing, Jonas Valančiūnas' interior size, and Bruce Brown's two-way toughness, and those three alone fundamentally changed Denver's matchup profile. What Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kessler Edwards do is complementary but crucial. They convert that revamped spine into a deeper, more lethal bench by supplying perimeter shooting, instant scoring, and role-specific spacing that the Nuggets could rely on late in games. Hardaway arrives on a one-year veteran minimum deal with clear offensive upside and playoff seasoning, while Edwards arrives with an eye-catching mark from beyond the arc that matters even on limited volume. Together, they give Denver more playable small ball lineups and a safety valve when the starters rest or matchups get spicy. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a proven floor spacing scorer who spent years as a reliable offensive weapon, and the Nuggets signing him to a one-year deal gives Denver low-risk, high-reward bench scoring. In 2023-24, he was widely discussed as one of the league's best six men, a player who could come off the pine and immediately supply volume, efficient shooting, and heat-check scoring, and that profile is exactly what Denver lacked at times in the second unit. His ability to hit pull-up threes, catch and shoot triples, and create short window shots off screens allows Denver to run multiple stagger sets without sacrificing make-or-miss shooting. On a veteran minimum contract, the upside is obvious. If he stays hot, he's a playoff-ready scorer. If he cools off, the financial downside's minimal. Perhaps most importantly for Denver, Hardaway's experience playing in playoff atmospheres and his history of creating offense in short bursts gives the coaching staff an immediate proven option when the starters sub out. That kind of plug-and-play scoring shortens rotations and reduces the need to invent new bench playmakers on the fly. Hardaway Jr.'s value to the Nuggets isn't just raw points, it's spacing in relation to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Hardaway's range and off-ball movement create kick-out lanes and corner three opportunities whenever Jokic drops dimes or Murray penetrates, increasing the expected value of drive and kick possessions. Opponents that collapse into the paint to stop Jokic are punished more efficiently when shooters like Hardaway can convert from deep. That makes Denver's half-court offense cleaner and allows Murray to operate in fewer contested mid-ranges. In game scripts where Denver needs instant offense while preserving Jokic's minutes, Hardaway can recreate the type of spacing that previously helped Denver in playoff runs. Kessler Edwards' 24-25 season flashed something scouts and coaches prize: deadliness from beyond the arc, unlimited opportunities. Across 40 outings with Dallas, Edwards shot roughly 40.7% from three, while averaging about 1.4 attempts per game. That level of accuracy on spot looks signals that Edwards can be the type of low-usage, high-impact shooter who fits perfectly into rotations that prioritize perimeter gravity. For Denver, a player who will reliably move off screens, execute corner catches, and not require ball-dominant actions is extremely valuable. Kessler's efficiency per attempt matters more than volume in a bench role. Add to the fact that he's still young and ascending, and he comes cheaper in terms of salary and minutes than veteran alternatives, and you can see why the front office sees him as a plug-and-play depth option. Hitting 40% on low volume is useful only if the player converts the right shots in the right spots, and Kessler's film shows a preference for clean corner catch and shoots and open pull-ups off loose rotations, the exact possessions Denver needs to exploit. He's not a primary creator, but that's not the point. His value is multiplying Jokic's passing and Murray's drives by being in the right place at the right time. Defensively, he offers switchability in smaller lineups and has enough length to contest wings, meaning he won't be a complete defensive liability when he's plugged into short spurts. For a Nuggets team that can front-load defense with starters and lean on shooting from the bench, Kessler's combination of spacing and positional defense gives David Adelman more matchups. Playoff basketball is about predictable scoring runs and dependable role execution. Both Hardaway and Edwards are template candidates to deliver just that. Hardaway supplies instant scoring punch and legit shot creation off the catch or the dribble, while Edwards supplies high-efficiency spacing with minimal defensive fuss. When starters need rest or when matchups demand a different look, Denver can swap in two players who keep the offense humming instead of stalling into forced isolation. That reduces variance in late-game possessions and helps Denver avoid the kind of bench-cold stretches that have cost contenders in tight series. Both players have recent experience in NBA rotations. Hardaway in particular has a long resume of high-leverage bench scoring, which reduces adjustment time in the playoffs. In short, these additions aren't flashy at all, but they're exactly the kind of low-variance reinforcements that sustain championship runs. Economically, these are efficient moves here. Hardaway's veteran minimum deal and Edwards' cost-controlled deal let Denver add shooting without hamstringing future flexibility or blocking higher-value developmental minutes. That's important for a team that, after adding Johnson/Valančiūnas/Brown, still wants the optionality to tweak the roster at the trade deadline or preserve cap room. From a front office perspective, this right here is textbook roster construction. Reinforce your strengths cheaply while keeping paths open for bigger moves if necessary. News outlets have flagged these signings as part of a calculated, low-risk offseason that prioritized fit and shooting. For a championship contender, that's more sensible than gambling on a single costly swing. On the coaching side, Coach David Adelman now has more of an ability to stagger minutes. You can play a veteran-heavy closing unit, a spacing first-second unit, or a hybrid line that keeps Jokic engaged while giving Murray rest. Hardaway's capacity to create off the dribble allows lineups without Murray to still have an initiator who can probe the defense, while Edwards' spacing lets those lineups avoid clogging the paint. That helps Denver in back-to-backs and extended playoff series where matchup swings and minute management are key. It also forces opponents to respect Denver's bench as a scoring threat rather than an automatic low between starter shifts, a psychological and tactical edge in late possessions. No acquisition is without risk. Hardaway's defense and consistency have been questioned in some stretches, and Edwards' high three-point percentage came on very low volume, meaning regression to the mean is possible. Neither player is a guaranteed starter or wholesale rotation transformer on their own. Their value is multiplicative when paired with elite teammates like Jokic and Murray, and limited otherwise. Injuries, role confusion, or suboptimal shot distribution could blunt the value Denver hopes to extract. The front office's challenge is to integrate them into clear, repeatable roles that play to strengths and mask weaknesses. If Denver fails to define these roles early, those bench minutes might underperform expectations. Still, the upside outweighs the downside precisely because they're both cheap, complementary, and have immediate trackable skill sets. After the headline moves of Johnson, Valančiūnas, and Brown, the Hardaway and Edwards signings are the finishing pieces that convert Denver's starting identity into a complete two-way roster. These are not marquee headline steals, but they are the pragmatic, high-value parts championship teams covet: veteran scoring, spacing, and matchup flexibility on the cheap. If Hardaway stays hot and Edwards sustains even a portion of his three-point accuracy from last year, Denver's bench could become a definitive net positive unit that preserves leads in close games. That improvement in depth increases Denver's odds in a league where margin matters most, especially in a playoff series where starters rest, matchups flip, and role players decide outcomes. These signings are the kind of off-season micro-investments that can be the difference between a first-round exit and a deep playoff run.